Hello guys, welcome to Top Anime Sensei. This video is the continuation video after Who's That Butler. So if you have not watched it, then please watch it. The link is in the description. So without any further delay, let's start. But before we start, please like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. Even from the perspective of Shinji's crew, who were all otherworlders themselves, they found it to be highly developed and devoid of medieval drawbacks. Aside from the Empire's capital of Nazca, its surrounding cities were filled with the stench of animals. Here, however, there was nothing of the sort. Much to their surprise, I thought we were going to be welcomed by an empty plot of land aside from a gate. Or are we at the wrong place? I doubt it. Either they can change this place however they want, or the spies we sent were hallucinating. If so, then we can't let our guard down. They shared a quick look and braced themselves. Kigali had dropped them off here through the elemental magic warp portal, since she had visited Tempest before. Although she didn't stay long and swiftly went back to the Empire, there was nothing to worry about, since they had already arranged a return trip. Once they were finished, they were to meet up with Gadra, who would bring them back home using magic. Until then, they were ordered not to pull any reckless stunts, and investigate every nook and cranny. The three of them were no fools. It went without saying that they were going to do just as they were ordered. Lady Kigali is really hot. Hey, Shinji, your girlfriend will dump you if you keep talking like that. You know, girlfriend, I don't have one. If I did, my life would have been way better. Don't bother, Mark, he's just too slow on the uptake. Mark and Zin both shrugged as Shinji bemoaned his loss. They carried on with their banter while passing through the entry check at the city's gate. Thanks to the Freedom Association IDs which Yuki had prepared for them, they were allowed to enter the country more smoothly than they had expected, requiring only a brief explanation about their purpose for entering. After that, they secured a room at an inn and went sightseeing, under the pretext of collecting information. The three of them were astonished by what they saw. As otherworlders, the three of them possessed considerable power that afforded them several privileges in this world. But they were limited in their ability, unable to act as freely as Demon Lord Rimuru, even if they wanted to. Yuki went to great lengths to make improvements in the food situation and living conditions, which also spread throughout the vast empire. But even those mammoth efforts paled in comparison to the strides this country had made. Shinji, who was quite familiar with the situation, was less surprised and more amazed by it. Takoyaki, okonomiyaki, and yakisoba were just the beginning. There were also a wide variety of pastries to be had, such as crepes and cakes. A handful of extremely pricey treats also lined the shelves, leading one to wonder where the ingredients even came from. From food stalls and coffee shops to fine dining restaurants, the lineup exuded a passion for food and the tastes from the original world. Residents of this world, who might have been confused at first, appeared to have gotten accustomed to the wide variety of cuisines. Shinji, for one, cried tears of joy when he laid eyes on a curry rice restaurant. Plumbing and toilets were set up perfectly. The inns also couldn't have been more comfortable. There was also a public bath, which had become a popular pastime. I think I'll stay here. Hey, can we, not return to the Empire? Mark asked. Hey, no, sorry I was. Just kidding. Don't take it the wrong way. Shinji, I'm not mad. I'm just wondering if I could seriously consider it. I want to live here as well. The three of them looked at each other and sighed. Long had they lived under the impression that the Empire was the forerunner in civilization and modern comforts in the whole world. But now, after seeing this country, they had become disillusioned. The town was lively, and the food was tasty. Not only did it feel comfortable to live here, but there was also no shortage of entertainment and a rich culture, providing plenty of opportunities to enjoy themselves. These pleasures were all based on the ones from their previous worlds, and in contrast to the harsh lives they had led till now. These guys were overcome with nostalgia. The Empire also had cultural centers, and various forms of entertainment to speak of, but those were made for the nobility and they weren't free like in this city, meaning they were prohibitively expensive for a commoner. Compared to that, this city was. No, we absolutely can't. Yeah, Yuki-san won't be cool with it and Master Gadra is, frankly, too scary to deal with. Besides, the war is on the horizon. The firing squad is all that awaits defectors. Yes, the war would soon break out. This city would obviously be a target. There was no way it could escape undamaged. The trio was well aware how powerful the military of the Empire was, and believed that this country wouldn't stand a chance against it. With heavy hearts they swallowed their doubts, and true to their mission, set out to challenge the labyrinth. So, Hiro Masayuki finally managed to break through the 50th floor, but I must say, this is too easy. Haha, that makes sense. After all, Yuki-san said that Masayuki wasn't particularly strong, but his skill shouldn't be underestimated. I mean, that's probably why he was able to conquer it. He slowly but surely challenged it, taking him more than half a year to break through. They tittle-tattled as they passed through the 40th floor. Initially, they were constantly on guard inside the dungeon, but now their tension had eased. They gathered information in advance to avoid taking risk. But now Shinji and crew felt that the dungeon was heavily based on game mechanics. Zin seemed to have had no connection with games, but Shinji and Mark were avid gamers. Shinji, in particular, was an RPG enthusiast who loved adventure titles and had managed to enjoy them in between his studies at the university. In light of this knowledge, they could best describe this dungeon as nothing but a plaything, its challengers certainly being the targets of someone's devious schemes. Nevertheless, this was all familiar to those in the know. Zin Luxing was good at detecting traps, and with Shinji's assistance, he managed to pick them all out. As long as the traps were taken care of, the strength of the monsters wasn't much of a threat. I guess the challengers had a hard time conquering it, due to their lack of knowledge. That's right, I did mock this as an obstacle course, but that's exactly what this is. If you can decipher the malicious intentions of the creator, you can just sneak past that stuff, and it doesn't even kill you. While they were collecting information, they had heard about the Resurrection Bracelet. You could get one for free like a one-time deal from the reception desk. With the bracelet equipped, you would revive back at the entrance upon dying in the labyrinth. So they were told. That immediately had them intrigued. It was somewhat hard to digest, like they had stumbled upon a comedy show inside this serious world. The problem was that they didn't know how deep this dungeon was, even though they wanted to conquer it in one go. The rations they brought were limited. The trio were at a loss about how much food they had to pack for the exploration, and an unexpected solution to this problem came from the reception desk. "Oh, you don't have to worry about that," the receptionist assured them, then explained at great length, "When you see the stairs, you will find an entrance to the inn, where you can stay for a fee, so you guys don't have to rack your brains over rations." Rimuru-sama said only snacks up to 300 yen. I have no idea what that means, but it must be important. Oh yeah, there are merchants waiting in the inn, so they can buy the stuff you don't need. You know. Shinji repressed his urge to shout. Hurry it up, we don't need to hear about the snacks. The last thing he needed was getting charged with insolence for shouting profanity. Now back to the present. It had been a week since they started their conquest of the labyrinth. Shinji and the other two were examining their loot, while resting in the labyrinth's inn. By the way, Mark began, apparently in a good mood. "We've earned a lot in these few days, haven't we?" They claim that this place would be Spartan, but it's quite comfortable. Despite that, the accommodation fee is cheap, and we've saved a lot of money by selling unnecessary equipment, right? Shinji responded by taking gold coins out of their purse. They stared longingly at the golden sheen. This wasn't just the money from treasure chests, monsters, and selling loot. They also received dozens of gold coins and even a stellar gold coin as rewards. This was a huge prize. I suppose we've earned quite the pretty penny. From what I've heard, the challengers on the front line haven't managed to make it past the 50th floor. Only Masayuki's party has managed to conquer it, so that will make us the second group to do so. Masayuki's group was evidently stuck on the 60th floor, and the other challengers, they guessed, were being held up by the boss monster of the 40th floor. Thanks to this, Shinji's crew was in the spotlight as this month's MVPs. Yeah, that Tempest Serpent, right? It was certainly strong, but it was no match for us. The Tempest Serpent was ranked A-, so even high-level adventurers struggled against it. Its breath attack, covering a wide area, was devastating in small rooms. The challengers had no place to escape, leaving them no choice but to face the enemy head-on. If the snake managed to wrap itself around you though, its tough scales meant you were a definite goner. This monster was supposed to be a tricky opponent, but Shinji's crew beat it without breaking much of a sweat. They weren't interested in how strong the monsters were, but what they got after defeating them. I wonder what's up with the hole in this weapon. It's listed for a crazy price. The ridiculous number threw them for a loop, enough to make them drop the idea of selling it. Weapons with holes began to appear in loot starting around the 40th floor. No one had ever seen anything like it in the Empire, so naturally the three of them had no idea how much they were worth. They could have sold them for a fortune, but they remained on the fence about whether they should. What's the deal with this hole? Even my appraisal magic tells me nothing. Maybe we should hold on to them until Master comes. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. And if you guys have not watched my other videos, then please watch them. The links are in the description. And don't forget to like, subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss the updates.